Hi everyone, my name is SonyaJoy. I'm part of the education team at Poughkeepsie Farm Project, and welcome to Food Power at Home. Today's recipe is a West African style kale sauté. So we're going to be using this wonderful nutritious kale that grows pretty much all year round here in Poughkeepsie, and combining that with some delicious simple ingredients you can just count on your fingers, only 5 ingredients to make today's dish. So let's get cooking. Things that you'll need for today's dish. You will need the ingredients. The ingredients are a bunch of kale, or you could use collard greens, turnip greens, any other kind of green, spinach if you like. Coconut milk, 1 can of coconut milk. A sweet pepper, it could be red, orange, yellow, any kind of sweet pepper. Ginger and garlic. So if you don't have fresh ginger or fresh garlic, you could also use, they often sell jarred minced ginger or jarred minced garlic, or you could use the powders. You could use ground ginger and garlic. You just might need to adjust how much you use. And then just from your own home kitchen, use a bit of salt. Okay, so those are your basic ingredients, and the tools that you'll need a saute pan, you will need a cutting board, a knife, either adult chef knife or a kid's chef knife, a spoon, large and small. Those are all the things that we're going to need for today's recipe. So the first step for this recipe is to warm the coconut milk with the fragrant ginger and the garlic. So doing this while we prepare the kale is going to create this almost like a rich sauce for this dish. So to start, you're going to take the entire can of coconut milk and you want to empty that into your pan. So you'll notice there's 2 different kinds of liquid in the coconut milk can. One is a more solid coconut milk that's fattier, and then there's more coconut milk below it. You can put all of that into the pan. So I want to start by talking about healthy fat. Healthy fats tell our body when we are full, when we are done eating. So by using this coconut milk to cook our greens in, it's actually going to help send our body the message, hey, like you've had enough food. So that's a really helpful thing to add to vegetables. Great, so we're going to season this coconut milk with ginger and garlic, and here's how you work with both of these. So garlic is in this head, and we want to just take out a few cloves of garlic. You know, all of the cloves of garlic are different sizes. So when a recipe calls for 2 cloves of garlic or 3 cloves of garlic, you want to, adjust based on the size of each clove. So let's take a look at the size of the cloves that we have here. So in order to remove the peel, I'm going to place my hand over the knife and press down. You might hear a little bit of a cracking sound as the peel loosens up. So you can already see these pieces of garlic are very different sizes. The first one is humongous. That's really big. The second, so that's almost like 2 cloves of garlic right there. I love a lot of garlic, so no matter what a recipe says, you want to, use the amount of garlic that you prefer, that you like. Just gonna use my knife, and you could also use the kid's chef knife for this too. I'm holding the garlic with the claw, which is a C shape like this, and that's gonna protect my fingers while I cut. Holding down the garlic and just slicing off the little harder root ends, and this one doesn't, both of these don't have any. All right, quick way to mince. You could use a grater. You could run the garlic along a grater, and that would be the same thing as a mince, but this we're gonna do with the chef's knife. So the fast way to mince, I like to make flat pieces of garlic like this. Okay, and then I just go back over those flat pieces, making little sticks, and I turn the stick sideways. And this is where it gets fun. This is where you put your hand on top and you just chop. Just keep your fingers out of the way and keep going back over those pieces of garlic until they are, you know, the size that you're looking for. Okay, that looks pretty good. We got some nice minced garlic. I'm just gonna push that aside. And we're gonna work with the ginger next, okay? So ginger is another really amazing vegetable. It's a root and it's great for digestion. So it's something that we really wanna add to this dish. And you'll find ginger in a lot of African continental cuisine. This is probably a thumb-sized piece of ginger is what we're looking for. So I'm just gonna cut off what I think is a thumb-sized piece of ginger. Something like this. I like ginger too, so I'm using a little bit more than you might. So now you're gonna need your spoon. The spoon is how you are going to peel the ginger. You can use a peeler, but it does take quite a bit of food off of the ginger itself. So I'm gonna push down on the ginger with the back side of the spoon. Really easy, and this is something that kids might find fun. It's also kind of, ginger's a little juicy, so it smells really good while I'm peeling it. It's just nice to cook with. Love ginger teas with honey and lemon. And also because it's not a sharp peeler, you can scrape toward you instead of just away from you. So I'm gonna set aside these peels. And ginger, same thing. We're gonna mince the ginger, and I recommend holding the ginger with the claw and slicing across. So you're making big slices of ginger, like so. Hold your ginger again and slice it into thin strips. Little sticks like that, and then turn your sticks a quarter turn the other way and slice again. And this time they should start to chop into smaller, tinier pieces. So you'll notice as much as I can, I use that claw shape. You can put your hand on top of the knife or hold the knife and chop that ginger. So what's great about this is while we're cooking the kale, the ginger and the garlic are going to be seasoning the coconut milk. So I'm going to turn my stovetop on, kind of to like medium heat. And if I hear it simmering too long or too high, I'll just turn it down to low heat. So all the ginger, all the garlic, looks really good. It smells good already, even though it's not even cooking yet. So I'm going to let that sit there and start to warm, cover it to the cover. And we're going to move on to chopping the kale. To start working with kale, you first want to remove the stem if you want to reduce your cooking time. Kale goes upside down. Hold on to the stem with one hand and the leaf with the other and pull gently downwards. You're a pro. Good job. You're going to take a piece of kale, kind of roll it up together in your fingers and cut across the kale. And when you're working with the kid's chef knife, you really need to use some elbow grease. You need to saw back and forth because the knife is working without a sharp blade. It just has teeth. So you need to really, really rub back and forth. The same process with that adult chef knife. Bundle the kale leaves together in one hand, and then with your writing hand, you're going to chop. So the difference between the kid's chef knife and the adult is you can see with the adult, I rock forward, just making that rocking motion with the tip of my knife on the cutting board, rocking through. Still practicing holding with the claw. We're gonna take all of the kale and add it to the simmering coconut milk. So we are using this coconut milk as the kind of steam that's going to cook this kale. You could also saute the ginger and garlic in some oil, or if you wanted to do like a low-fat one, you could just use water and steam the kale a little bit and add the ginger and garlic that way. Really any way that you like it, but the coconut, the ginger, the garlic, it gives this a really distinct, like just delicious flavor. And a lot of us are used to, well, I know that I grew up eating like Southern style collards, which is cooked with ham hocks or turkey necks, which is also delicious. This is just giving us some different options. I think having options for sometimes eating meat, sometimes not, is great. So this is just one of those options that you have. So taking that lid again, I'm gonna pop that on top, trapping the steam inside of the pot and cooking the kale faster. So we're gonna let this kale cook for about 7 or 8 minutes. We're gonna wait till it's really tender, and that's when we're gonna add our sweet pepper. Hold the pepper with the claw and place the knife down, and you're gonna slice through the top of the pepper, almost like you're taking off a little pepper hat. Okay, great, you've got that part. And now we're also going to slice off the bottom part of the pepper. I'm just gonna put my knife in to help it get started. Really saw back and forth. Try not to crush the pepper with your other hand. Okay, so made it open on the top and the bottom, and now we're gonna slice through and remove any of the white inside or seeds inside. So one cut on this side, turn it around, cut on the other side, and we've got our pepper completely broken down. So here's what we're going to do next. Take out the white part of the pepper. You can use your fingertips, or you can use a knife pointing away from your body. That also works. For the top part of the pepper, what I like to do is just use my fingers and break the pepper away from the green part, the green stem. Keep it really simple. Next thing we're gonna do with this pepper is slice. So holding the pepper with the claw, with the skin side of the pepper down against the cutting board, we're going to slice across. You can make the pepper strips as thin or as thick as you like them. What's fun about this dish is that the colors just pop. The orange and the green against each other, it's really beautiful. One thing we're doing is we're cooking the kale and the peppers separately. So that's an important step for cooking any kind of vegetables, because vegetables all have different cooking times. We want to cook this pepper 2 to 3 minutes max. Almost done. Okay. So, there you go. It can be done with the Kid Chef knife, and hopefully you had fun doing it. It's so sweet smelling. I love this dish. This dish, I can't say enough. I'm so excited to enjoy this as my lunch today. It's super creamy, it's super savory. It makes greens delicious. Something I would love you to try is make this dish into an entree. You could cook chicken first before you start the vegetables, and then add the vegetables in, almost like making a curry, like a coconut curry. You could serve this dish over rice. You could put beans, like chickpeas would be delicious in this dish. So play around with this recipe. Think of other things that you can add, or flavors, ingredients that you might like, and make this dish into an entire entree. See you next time. Oh my gosh, it's so good.